Hi, this is Nate from Team 1, and in this video we will give an overview of the development of alternative fuel technology and factors affecting the adoption of hybrid vehicles. Most people don't know the first mass-produced car was an ethanol-powered car, but even before the Ford Model T, the electric car prevailed. The advantages to electric cars were that it didn't backfire and it could travel 40 to 80 miles on one charge. However, it could only go 15 miles an hour and due to distance could only be used in places with electricity. Also, there was no standardization over power companies to which type of power they supplied or the voltage or frequency of the power. Much later in the 1970s, an oil crisis hit where corn prices fell. This inspired many new improvements for alternative energy cars. Sadly, the fall of oil prices in the 80s slowed down innovations because it wasn't worth the time or money. Then again in the late 90s, oil prices rose, and this is when alternative fuel car industry gained a lot of popularity. First the Toyota Prius, followed by such cars as the Honda Insight, Tesla Roadster. Now many other companies are starting to get into the mix, such as Ford and Chevy in 2011.
Another factor that could affect the adoption rate of hybrid cars is the availability of other alternative fueled cars. Three possible competitors are natural gas, biodiesel, and hydrogen-fueled cars. Natural gas is a good alternative because many flex fuel cars of today are capable of burning natural gas in the form of E85 ethanol. However, very few of these cars use ethanol because only 1 out of 170 gas stations sell it. Furthermore, these engines still emit carbon, perpetuating global warming. Biodiesel is good because it runs on waste products of the food industry. Also, diesel engines require no modifications to burn biodiesel. Fortunately, like natural gas, biodiesel engines emit carbon, and only trucks will be able to utilize biodiesel without modification. Hydrogen is the most serious contender in the alternative fueled market. It is clean burning, made from water, and hydrogen cars have already been developed. However, with the current technology, hydrogen is expensive, dirty, and inefficient. If and when hydrogen can be made cheaper and utilized more efficiently, it will provide competition for hybrids, but that day is far down the road. These graphs show two possible futures for hybrid adoption. The graph on the left demonstrates the emergence of an alternative fueled car that steals the market from both gasoline and hybrid cars. The graph on the right shows what hybrid sales would look like if new alternative fueled cars do not progress enough to gain market share. New technologies come and go as hybrids gradually take over the gasoline cars market with a few hiccups.
The technology used in today's hybrid vehicles can vary in a variety of ways depending on the model and manufacturer of the car. However, most gasoline-electric hybrid vehicles seen on the road today contain the same basic elements that make them fuel efficient. This hybrid structure consists of a gasoline engine, an electric motor, batteries, a transmission, and in some cases a generator. While hybrid cars all have the same basic structure, the main components can be used in different ways to produce different varieties of hybrid vehicles. The three main types are the series hybrid, the parallel hybrid, and the series parallel hybrid. With the series hybrid vehicle, the electric motor is solely responsible for providing power to the wheels. Its power source either comes from the batteries or from a generator that is powered by the gasoline engine. A computer installed within the car determines how much of the power comes from either the generator or the batteries. Since this car relies on entirely electric power, a powerful battery pack and large electric motor is required. The parallel hybrid vehicle allows both the gasoline engine and the electric motor to give power to the wheels. Coupled with a computer and a transmission, these two motors work together seamlessly. This is the technology used by the Honda Insight and the Honda Civic Hybrid. The last way that a hybrid vehicle is typically set up is the series parallel hybrid. This combines the benefits of both the series and parallel drivetrain designs. With this setup, the gasoline engine can provide power to the wheels or it can be disconnected so that only electric power drives the wheels. This way, depending on the driving situation, the optimum power source can be used. This is the technology that was made popular by the Toyota Prius.
According to the Energy Information Administration, the price of gasoline relies on four factors: the price of crude oil, refining costs and profits, distribution and marketing costs and profits, and taxes. As you can see, a large portion of the price of gasoline is comprised of the cost of crude oil. So it comes as no surprise then that the price of oil largely determines the price of gasoline. As oil prices rise or fall, gas prices typically follow. Global population superpowers such as US, China, and India continue to consume oil at unsustainable rates. Meanwhile, oil production has remained constant among leading producers for the last 40 years. This image, provided by Ireland's Association for the Study of Peak Oil and Gas, shows that although the discoveries of new oil fields have been steadily declining, we continue to produce oil in excess of what is newly available. If these trends continue, we could see drastic increases in gas prices and global push towards alternative energies.
The Go Green trend. In this unstable economy, reasons for going green would be high fuel prices and global warming issues that many consumers are very concerned with. Mostly everywhere you go, the world has been consumed with the go green trend. Out of two very important industries, food and automobile, the automobile industry has become quite fond of this trend. Although there have been a reduction in overall auto sales, there has been a definite increase in sales of small and fuel-efficient cars. According to statistics provided by greencars.org, the compact car segment of the market rose a whopping 33% in 2007. This trend is continuing in 2008 with some experts predicting even higher increases in small car sales over the next few years. There is still a large demand for high-impact vehicles. As a subgroup in the car industry, they only have less than a 1% decrease in sales, which we predict that number will continue to decline over the next few years. All new improvements to the gasoline engines have become interest because of the new trend. New technology called EcoBoost have been created to improve fuel economy by 20% while reducing carbon dioxide emissions by 15%. This technology has been invented by the Ford Motor Company. EcoBoost combines turbocharging with direct injection. This Go Green technological concept offers improved fuel economy without loss of performance. Crossover cars have also been increased because of this trend due to its car-like handling with the functionality of a SUV. However, the vehicles that run on blended alcohol gasoline are gaining in popularity.
One curve for the auto industry has been government regulation and international relations. Government politics and regulations have played a large role in the auto industries in the past few decades. In the 1970s, the EPA was established in the U.S. This was the Environmental Protection Agency that was created to uphold the environmental laws that the government passed. As the EPA increased its yearly emission standards, auto industry had to compensate by creating engines that were more efficient. One of these major changes was the addition of the catalytic converter on the back of each engine. This forced the auto industry to install each one of these in every single automobile and also forced the oil industry to switch from leaded to unleaded oil. Government regulation has also played a part in recent years in several high-profile cases such as the Alaskan Wildlife Reserve or drilling right off the coast, which the United States government has banned in both regions. The international policies between countries has also played a part in the auto industry. As we can see in this graph here, the crude oil prices in 2008 dollars, how conflict and different international events have caused the price to dramatically skyrocket or decrease. Some major events here were the Yom Kippur War and oil embargo, the Iranian Revolution, then the 9/11 and the recession. All these has had drastic impacts. For future trends, it would be important to look at what local governments are currently looking to install as far as regulations and the stability of the government.
Finally, our future predictions are that hybrid cars will continue to grow in popularity. Oil production will be suppressed by oil consumption, and within the next decade or so, all cars will incorporate hybrid technology. We feel hybrid technology will grow in popularity due to recent innovations, making recharging time small. These include the redox flow battery, which can be recharged in under a minute by pumping out the negatively charged electrolyte liquid and replacing it with positively charged electrolyte liquid. Also, Nissan has developed a way to recharge an electric car battery to 80% capacity in 30 minutes. This technology will be available in the new 2010 Nissan Leaf. Next comes the trend of slowing oil production versus growing oil consumption. As predicted by Hubbard, a Shell Oil Company employee in the late 1940s, oil production in the U.S. peaked in the 1970s. A similar graph was made in 1956 predicting a peak oil production for the entire world, which says we will peak out sometime within the next 2 to 3 years. This graph shows the growing oil consumption of 3 major economic countries, the U.S., China, and India. If we continue consuming oil at this growing rate, the reserves are predicted by experts to be dry by the year 2030. Lastly, based on these factors, we predict that all cars being produced in the next couple of decades will have some form of hybridization.